fall is nearing, which means it's getting time to celebrate Oktoberfest. Right here in Rhinelander, you can celebrate Oktoberfest this Saturday, and here to tell us all about it is one of the organizers of the event and the mayor of Rhinelander, Chris Hannes. So thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, so can you tell me a bit about Oktoberfest?
True, so Oktoberfest, this is our second year. Last year we had 17 vendors and about 3,000 people. So it's grown substantially this year. We're up to about 71 vendors, so we're expecting more people based on that. Oktoberfest generated originally in Germany as a celebration for a wedding. So then from there it evolved into, what we do here in America, which is everything from a craft fair to a food event. So we kind of bring it all too, so we're a vendor craft show during the day. We got a couple live bands, we got food on site, we have, of course, beer. You got to have beer. And then some merchandise too. So it's something to bring a lot of the local community together.
Awesome. And then what do you think your favorite thing about Oktoberfest is? So
part of it is just putting it together. It's cool to work on this all year and then see it all come together and see it grow. Seeing something like this where the community likes it, they bring it in and they make it better every year. So I mean, some of the big suggestions we took from last year was just having more bands, having more food vendors there just to make it more of an experience for people. So just watching it all come together is always the most exciting for me.
Awesome. You had mentioned that does it take like all year, like a full year to plan, or is it?
The last 4 months are the more go time, but a lot of the bands you got to book out early, a lot of the planning, advertising. So it is a true year. We start planning this Sunday, the day after, and then, usually going into summer is when it starts to really, we hit the pavement with it, so.
Nice. And then what do you think is so important to bring something like Oktoberfest here into northern Wisconsin?
So a couple things. So this is a venue for people to, if they're a local crafter, if they do wood carving, if they make any kind of crafts, or they're a small business, this is a chance for them to get together and make some money. It's their hobby, it's something they want to do. It's also spotlighting local musicians. So, we have a couple bands that are very local, that way it helps them grow and just helps the community. It's also something with our partners that it's a community event that's bringing actually the whole community together. So between all that, I think it's a great event for Rhinelander.
Awesome. And then I know you said it's growing a lot this year. So what was attendance like last year, and what do you expect it to be like this year? So
last year we had about 3,000 people. We're planning on that 5,000 to 7,000 range. Some of it depends on what Devin gives us for weather, I suppose. But, we hope for the best. But, it's one of those, we got multiple tents. The food vendors got tents. So if it does sprinkle a little, we got cover. So.
Awesome. And then can you tell me about some of the musical acts that are going to be performing this year?
True. So our MC who's kind of kicking it off is Dave Melvin from Frat Boys Karaoke and DJ. From there we go to Jim Pecco, who's a polka band, actually lives really close to town. And then from there we end with Old Pine Road Band with David Walter, which is kind of a bluegrass, polka, country, kind of a mixture. So it's 3 different bands that draw different groups of people in, and it should just be a good time.
Awesome. And I know for drink, there's going to be a lot of beer, but can you talk about like some of the food that will be there as well?
True. So for the beer, Rhinelander Brewery is a big partner, and then we got some generic stuff too, and more craft side. As far as the food, we do have 2 food vendors, which is kind of your deep fried specialties, and just some more of the big pretzels, that kind of stuff. Part of the event we put on a basic, the brats, the sauerkraut, hot dogs, and hamburgers as part of the event we run internally. So it's one of those, multiple. Then there's also food vendors, from the cotton candy to the custom cookies and all that kind of stuff. People promote themselves. So.
Awesome. And then I know it's going to be this Saturday, but can you say again where it's going to be and what time? So
it's at 315 South Oneida Avenue, which is the old Kern School, kind of between the courthouse and Burger King. It starts at 10 a.m. in the morning and it goes to about 8:30 at night. Roughly when the band ends, it's over. But I mean, it's free to get in, and then pretty much food, drink, and any stuff you want to buy from the vendors is at your cost.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much. I've never experienced an Oktoberfest before, so I'll definitely have to go and check it out.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And then coming up, we have What's Trending.